Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The deadline to file tax returns is tomorrow, April the 15th. But before you rush to get all your paperwork in order, let's slow down to make sure that you know how to complete everything correctly. Now, our money expert, Janai Thorne, joins us to help us, get our 2024 tax return ready to file. Janai, good morning. Hey, yes, and welcome back. We are so happy to have you on the show. And now let me ask you this. What do we need to know about tomorrow's deadline, and what are the consequences for missing, the filing deadline?
Rickey, just a couple things I'd like to share. First, I want people to know who live in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Our filing deadline is actually May 1st. And that's really because when FEMA considered our state's disaster areas previously, we actually get a little extra time. So, again, that's Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Also think about the folks who live over in California with all the crazy fires. They also get additional time, too. They're getting automatically until October. So wanted to share that. Number two, for the rest of us who are not ready to file by tomorrow, please make sure you're filing your extension. That's Form 4868. Pay as much as you can, because think about it, Rickey. It's an extension of time to file. It is not an extension of time to pay. So if you owe, please pay as much as you can by tomorrow, and then we can set up a payment plan for the rest.
So, I was just going to ask you, what should our listeners do if they can't afford to pay the taxes they owe right now?
Well, which is really a common issue. So think about it this way. A lot of people won't file because they know that they owe. That's a really, really big mistake, because you're going to be subject to what's called the failure to file penalty just for not filing. File on time, pay as much as you can, and if you owe less than $50,000, you can apply for a payment plan online at irs.gov. It's going to take you 10 minutes or less, and you'll get 5 years automatically to pay your taxes off. That's provided that you filed all your returns, though.
Okay. Hey, Janai, so where can our listeners go to file their taxes for free?
Yeah.
Tons of options this year to file your taxes for free. So the IRS has a great tool. It's called, obviously, Free File. If your income is less than $84,000, you can file with IRS. But if you pay attention to the ads that are running, H&R Block, TurboTax, a lot of places have free filing options. You just want to make sure, get clarity on if your state filing will be free as well. A lot of times that's just for the federal filing.
Now, when should married people file? Okay. Should they file separate tax returns?
Okay, so this is where it can get a little sticky right here, Rickey, is a lot of people are like, okay, should we file jointly or should we file separately?
Yeah.
This is when you absolutely want to file separately. Number one, if your spouse owes back child support and their tax refund more than likely is going to be taken, that means your refund will be taken too. You do not want to file together. That's where it can get a little dicey. Now, if you know that your spouse is behind, they haven't filed in several years, they're having some tax issues, again, you probably want to file separately. And then last is, some people are a little bit more creative when it comes to taxes. If you're the rule follower and your mate likes to color outside the lines a little bit, you don't want to be bothered with that, you absolutely may want to file separately as well.
Okay.
Janai, this is a question. This is one of my. Okay, like I filed my tax. My friend has 4 kids, and she let me carry 2, and she do the other 2. I mean,
listen, here we go with the carry.
I mean, I could do that, right? Because I've been doing it.
Listen.
Oh my!
Gary, be careful what you
say, Gary. He say, I know. Look, and said this on the radio. So listen.
Say allegedly.
Allegedly, right? Say that word first.
Oh, allegedly, sure. Yeah.
Too late.
Technically, if we're claiming a child as a dependent, we should be providing more than half of their support when we're claiming a child as a dependent. So they need to be under 24 if they're a full-time student. Y'all are crazy over there. And they obviously need to be a U.S. citizen for sure. But you need to be providing more than half their support, Gary.
Well, I
you
do.
Be claiming them.
Do
oh,
you?
do? Okay.
Do you,
Yeah,
Gary?
I do.
Okay. All right.
Why you done made me slob on my shirt?
Janai, when can taxpayers expect to get their refunds, and where can our listeners go if they have some additional questions about their taxes?
This is why it's super important to file your tax return electronically. Typically, it can take about 21 days, provided, again, you file electronically. If you mail your return in, I have no idea. It probably is going to be at least 6 to 8 weeks, if not longer, to receive your refund. But there's a couple tools you can use. You can go to the IRS's website, and they have a tab that you click on. It's called Where's My Refund? You could literally track to see where your refund is in the process. They also have a really good app. It's called IRS To Go. That's the number 2, IRS To Go. You can track your refund through that app as well.
And Janai, I've heard a lot about tax return identity theft. What is that, and how can people protect themselves from it?
People don't realize this is a major issue already for the 2024 tax return season, obviously that we're just started in January. Almost 2 million returns have been flagged already as potential fraud. And what that means is somebody steals your Social Security number or they steal your dependent Social Security number and they file a return and they get a refund. Now, here you come behind them and file a return, and your return gets rejected because somebody has already used your information. Again, this is a very common problem. It seems to be getting worse every year, but there's an affidavit that you have to file. You know, the IRS has a form for everything. It's Form 14039. You have to file this affidavit and submit your paper tax return. Now, the bad news with it, beyond the fact that someone has fraudulently used your personal information, it's going to take you probably almost 2 years to resolve this with the IRS. So you're going to have to pack your patience and settle in. So folk who are due a refund, it literally could take almost 2 years to get that money.
Man, so listen, if you want to talk to Janai Thorne, you have any tax questions, hit us up at 866-9-RICKEY, 866-9-RICKEY, or anything financial. Hit us up. More Janai Thorne up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. And we are back with Janai Thorne. If you have a tax question, hit us up right now at 866-9-RICKEY. Let's go to the phones. Good morning.
I was out of work for a workers' comp. I meant to ask, I had to file that workers' comp money, not pay it back. Like my weekly checks, I was wondering if I had to file that money on my taxes. That's what I wanted to ask.
Good morning. Actually, workers' comp is not taxable. So whether you received your payments weekly or a lot of people get like a lump sum payment, you do not have to file that. However, disability is taxable. So you want to make sure that you actually do have workers' comp so you can handle it the right way.
All right, y'all, with Janai Thorne. Good morning.
Good morning. I have a question about filing taxes from previous years this year. I think I've missed it twice, the deadline, and now I've already filed for this time, but I need to file for the 2 previous years. How do I go about doing that?
Hey, good morning. You know, it's actually very common that people have multiple years that they need to file. So the best thing to do is file as soon as you can. Now, a mistake that I often see people make, they'll just try to put it like all together on 1 year. Please file each year separately. And the best that you can, try to file the returns as close together as possible. Now, think about it this way. If you owe forever. But if you were due a refund, you only have 3 years to claim your refund. So you want to get your returns filed as soon as possible.
All right, y'all, with Janai Thorne. Good morning.
My question is how do you see to it that you have enough taxes coming out for federal when you fill out the W-4? Because it seems like there's never enough coming out, and I end up owing.
Okay. So sounds like you have a withholding issue. So there's several withholding calculators that you can actually use online that will help you get your number right. And in that way, you can focus on your federal number and state as well. Because, you know, you're picking a certain number of exemptions, 0, 1, 2, whatever the number is. But you can also specify a certain amount that you need taken out as well. So your employer can actually do both.
That is, hey, listen, Janai, let everybody know how they can follow you on social media, how you could be reached if they have any tax questions, how they could, just in case they couldn't get through.
Absolutely. So happy to help you get ready for April 15th tomorrow. You can follow me at Janai Thornton. That's JINITHORNTON. Happy Money Monday, Ricky.
Happy Money Monday to you. Thank you so much, Janai Thornton. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.